In this video, I'll be showing you 4 things I wish I knew when I first started playing Tekken. Things that I wish I focused on earlier are things like how to use Power Crush properly. While it seems pretty straightforward on the surface, any mids or highs you can crush with a Power Crush, we also have to know that there's a certain amount of frames that we need to get this move to start up. For example, if I use 1+2, that leaves me at -9. But if I try to Power Crush, I don't have enough frames. But if I jab and Power Crush, then I do have enough frames to crush, and it will be a pretty effective option as well. Another area that I wish I paid more attention to early is how to control space in the neutral. We can control space against people who are very patient with like wall running 1+2, or we can use a keep out move like forward 3. Both fantastic options and give you really good opportunities afterwards. However, going at someone who's mashing, you do the opposite. You backdash as much as you can and you wait for your whiff punishment opportunity. These things can win entire game, and combos really have nothing to do with it. I think it's best to learn how to play jab centric, learn how to poke and play small Tekken, then work your way up to getting launchers and counter hit launchers, because this makes more sense fundamentally. If we know a really cool combo, but we never actually know how to set it up to get that combo, then it's not that valuable. And then once you make it a bit further up the ranks, it's usually best to learn how to sidestep. This I also really was reluctant to learn because I thought it was very complicated. However, it's really not. Once you know some key concepts, you're able to figure it out, know which ways to step and when. Someone with really good movement compared to someone with really bad movement is a significant advantage over the other player. So why wouldn't you want to learn how to do this as early as possible? Even if you aren't playing Asuka, these create so many opportunities that everyone has access to. So it really is in your best interest to learn these fundamentals instead of focusing your hours and time in the lab learning these crazy 1 or 2 frame link combos. This next tip is more about playing fundamentally. And this is something that I call hope Tekken. So hope Tekken is when you use mids or highs and hope that they work. For example, I could be using a move like forward 4, and this might be my go-to move to use in the neutral. Forward 4 is a great move and it gives you a full launcher on a regular hit. So why wouldn't we want to use it, right? Well, it still is a high. So technically, June doesn't really have to think about dealing with this type of offense. All she has to do is hold back and relax until it's her turn. This is the case for a lot of people learning the game. They find a move that they really like, but it's a mid or it's a high. And this ends up making a very easy case for your opponent, because really all they need to do is hold back and this pressure can be easily dealt with. And then it starts becoming a habit because sometimes it works. And then it becomes a reinforced habit that you have to unlearn later. So instead of initially opening up your opponent, trying to get these mids and these highs to work, it's really in your best interest to use a throw or a low, because now they can't just hold back. If my opponent wants to just turtle up and hold back, now they have to continuously guess whether they need to block low or break a throw. And this makes your offense a lot scarier and more proactive. You never want to throw mids or highs out and hope that they work just because they work sometimes. You want more consistency in your gameplay, and the only way that's going to happen is using down 1+2, using your throws, and really trying to get them to react quickly. In my opinion, Asuka's clutch moves are can and back 4. If you have these moves in your neutral, you are very scary to hit, because if your opponent chooses the wrong timing on a button, they're going to get counter hit and launched, and it's going to hurt. So, having these moves in your arsenal, other than something like back 1, you're in a much better spot in almost every single situation, because back 4 comes out at 15 frames. If whatever they're using isn't 15 frames or faster, then you win and you get a combo. And same goes for 1+2. While it's a frame slower, you still have the opportunity to launch them, and it's also safe on block. And these moves cause your opponent to really think about their next button. So practice your clutch moves, practice back 4, practice can, but don't press back 3 if you don't have a whiff punishment ready, because this is also something that I notice a lot. It's very common. People will press back 3 thinking it's a clutch move, and it's not, because it's not a form of offense, it's a whiff punishment tool. So if you're in the neutral and you're not really sure what your timing is, you can just throw out a back 4 or a can and see what sticks. There's really nothing wrong with this unless you're getting red. And the last tip I want to go over is tilt, or ranked anxiety. When you're learning to play this game, it really is best to play online, because it's going to challenge you. You'll be playing against people who are similar to your rank, and you can get good practice in. However, if you're playing ranked and you start losing rank points, it can cause a bit more pressure and frustration when learning to play the game. Especially if you're newer, this is very common. What I want to say is make sure that you're watching your replays and really taking these games as learning experiences and practice. Think of your ranked games as a sparring match, because the rank points aren't really telling you what your skill is. It's just a way to get you to play against people who are somewhat similar in rank. Your skill points don't define you, so really just make sure that you're practicing your fundamentals, you're practicing looking at replay mode, learning your block punishment when it's relevant, and just overall honing your fundamentals. The fact of the matter is, losing is learning, and tilting is only going to stagnate your progress. So make sure you're watching those replays and practicing a lot. If the ranked games are really getting under your skin, I would highly recommend just playing quick match. Take the pressure off and really go back, practice some more fundamentals, and then come back to the ranked ladder, or just watch replays until you feel comfortable coming back into the ladder. It's definitely frustrating to lose games, but it's definitely more important to learn from those games that you lost. Even from your wins, there's always something to learn. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you're struggling with climbing up the ranks or want private coaching, click the link in the description below. And as always, have a great day, guys. Want to take your Asuka to pro level? My exclusive Medify course has everything you need, each broken down in easy to follow videos. Get the course for a one-time price and get lifetime access and free updates.